Welcome, everyone, to Unity Center of Peace. Welcome to Still Waters. Today is May 2nd, the second day, or the day after World Labyrinth Day. We have two labyrinths here at Still Waters, and that is what our service is going to be about, is walking meditation. So please center yourself. Please let us know in the chat if you can't see, if you can't hear. You could say in the chat, and if Neil could watch that so that we make sure you can participate. Thank you so much for coming. I don't know exactly what prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel in the grass, how to be idle, how to feel blessed, how to stroll through fields and woods, which is what I've been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Isn't everything a prayer? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Holy ground, we're standing on holy ground. For God is with us, and where God is holy. This is holy ground. We're standing on holy ground. For God is with us, and where God is holy. Holy hands, God's given us holy hands. For God works through us, and where God is holy. These are holy hands. God's given us holy hands. For God is with us, and where God is holy. Holy ground, God's given us holy ground. For God is with us, and where God is holy. This is holy ground. God given us holy ground. For God is with us, and where God is holy. For God is with us, and where God is holy.
Thank you, Mary, and welcome to Unity Center of Peace. Again, I am your co-host today. I was going to send out a message about today's talk. It's walking meditation. I asked Mary if I should say walking in circles, but I don't think she liked that too much. So we're gonna keep it as walking meditation. So let's read our vision statements and our mission statements for today. Our vision statement: Unity Center of Peace is a thriving spiritual community offering love, peace, and support to all. Our mission statement: we spread the unity message by opening our doors and our hearts to the healing and expansion of personal and global consciousness. Our prosperity statement: we believe that true prosperity is a sense of fulfillment in every area of our lives, our minds, our bodies, our emotions, and our circumstances. We are richly, bountifully, and beautifully prospered in every good way, so it is, and so we let it be. And our statement of peace: we stand for peace, we stand for love, we stand for forgiveness. We honor the many names for God, the many paths to God, the many ways to worship God. For there is only one power and presence of God, and God loves each one of us equally. We urge all nations, their leaders, and their people to turn to God by whatever name and to pursue peace. For peace honors the God of all faiths. We stand for peace in our lifetime. Now, Gloria, if you would unmute and read the daily word.
Good morning. Today is Sunday, May 2nd, 2021. Today's word is grace. The grace of God is alive in me. I don't need to do anything to earn or deserve the grace of God because it is always present, mine to claim in any situation. Grace dawns in my awareness as soon as I move beyond the limits of my human understanding. I let go and let the peace, love, wisdom, and strength of God fill me, lift me, and guide me. In both the challenging and the ordinary moments of life, the grace I give and the grace I receive keep the awareness of God in my heart. During a tough conversation, a thought comes to mind that helps reestablish harmony. As I mull an important decision, a fresh insight clarifies my thinking. Feeling overwhelmed by my to-do list, I feel renewed energy and move forward with strength and enthusiasm. In these moments and more, I discover grace anew. And from the Bible, from his fullness, we have all received grace upon grace. John chapter 1, verse 16. Today's word is grace.
Thank you, Gloria. And now we continue with Mary's message and music.
Enter in, enter in. I am free to enter in thy love, in thy grace, in thy spirit I come freely to the throne of grace and to worship face to face. Oh, praise the living God. I am free to enter in, enter in. I am free to enter in thy word, in thy grace, in thy spirit I come freely to the throne of grace and worship face to face. Oh, praise the living God. I am free to enter in. So I confess I did not know ahead of time what the word for today would be. And I love it when spirit is synchronistic, because grace is what the labyrinth is about. So walking meditation. Meditation is another word for prayer in some ways for some people. I want you to think of all the different ways that you pray. What is prayer? Some say it's asking or communicating with the divine. Oswald Chambers has said that prayer is not an exercise. Prayer is life. It is the life. And the purpose of prayer is to reveal the presence of God, equally present all the time, in every condition. One of my favorite people from my Catholic upbringing is St. Francis of Assisi. He was very much, he had taken a vow of poverty after living like a prince, and he loved nature. You'll see him as statues with birds. St. Francis of Assisi is said to have said, pray constantly, and when necessary, use words. There are so many different ways to pray. I think for me, the directions in Psalm 46 say it best. Be still. Know that I am God. This goal can happen in an instant, or I can work on it my entire lifetime. I like it when the instants help. They help me work on it in my entire lifetime. One of my favorite ways to pray is to walk. Whether I'm just sauntering around, think of the word saunter coming from the French sentier, holy ground, saunter. St. Augustine said, solvitur ambulando, which means it is solved by walking. So here we are out at Stillwaters, and I'm going to tell you about labyrinths as a form of walking meditation, or walk in meditation. I think you can meditate anywhere, anytime, and for me it's easier when I'm outside and in a labyrinth. So labyrinths are circles, Neil. You were right. We could have called it walking in circles. The form is circular, and the idea is that you are in a container, a safe place that holds you, so you can pray, do what you need to do. Some people think of labyrinths and they think of a maze, right? Because it has twists and turns. So I'm going to tell you the difference between a maze and a labyrinth. A maze is what we call multi-cursal, lots of different ways. Sometimes they have more than one entrance or more than one exit. A labyrinth has one path. A maze has high walls. Think of the corn mazes that you'll go out to, or if you've seen pictures or had the opportunity to walk in a hedge maze, you can't see over the top. You can't see where you might want to go. You have to use your mind. A labyrinth is low on the ground, wide open. You can even make one on a beach instantly. They're circular. You can't get lost. You don't have to use your mind. When you walk into a maze, you have to use your mind. You have to use your logic. You have to remember, oh wait, was that a right or a left? Oh, I already took the left. Now I'm going to go right. It's all about using your mind. Some people call that the masculine, not to be confused with male, but the masculine that is in everyone is a maze. A labyrinth is symbolic. I use my intuition. I get to open my mind to spirit. My thoughts are totally wherever they are. It's considered more feminine because of the circular shape and because of intuition. The maze has many choices, many tricks and dead ends. A labyrinth only has one choice. It's just the choice to enter in, to be present. Are you going to walk it today or not? The other thing I really like about a labyrinth is that if you were all able to come here to my labyrinth, to our labyrinth at Stillwaters, where Jeff and I got married, it's the same labyrinth for everyone. It's one path for everyone. But Neil's going to have a totally different experience than I am. He might walk it really super fast and not hang out in the middle. He might walk back out super slow. One path that we share. What do I do when I meet Neil on the path? Do I acknowledge him? Do I smile? Do I give him a hug? Do I stay 6 feet away? What do I do when I meet others on the path? One path. I love the symbolism of the labyrinth. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of the history of the labyrinths and how and where in the world they are. Let me find that. Thanks. So one cool thing about labyrinths is that they've been around for 4,000 years. They were found on the shores of the Mediterranean Sea. There's a labyrinth symbol that was discovered etched in rock faces. And researchers have found this symbol all over the world, every continent except Antarctica. It's believed that in the pre-literate world that this was a pattern, and it was passed from one another as a design that could easily be conveyed without language. In the 12th century, we think of, if we're zooming forward a lot, to Christianity and to Catholicism. And one of the most important labyrinths, well, let me go back. The labyrinth was adapted as a metaphor, as a pilgrimage, right? Because a lot of people would pilgrim to Jerusalem. Some people pilgrim to Mecca today, right? It's a part of their life. We have to go to Mecca. We have to go to Jerusalem. But there were a lot of wars going on. The Crusades. It wasn't safe to walk. And so the churches built labyrinths in the floors of the church so that people could pray as they were walking safely inside a church. The oldest church labyrinth is in the 800-year-old stonework in Chartres Cathedral in France. And I'm going to just hold it up because I think it'll be faster. You might have seen this before, this pattern. And this uses sacred geometry. There are 13 circles, Neil, walking in circles. 13 times you go around. So there's 12, and then you count the inner circle. The path, as you can see, only has one entrance down at the bottom here. And as you go in, you waver back and forth. And sometimes you go all the way around or halfway around. There are 13 times that you turn towards the center. There are 28 times that you make a U-turn. It kind of sounds like my life. A lot of U-turns, and a lot of times that I turn towards the center. That center is shaped, they call that the rose, and that is known as like the Holy Spirit. Again, we're talking Christianity. But it also exists in other beliefs as well, the lotus, right? And being centered. The sacred geometry of this is amazing. So if you're interested, I don't have enough time, but there's a lovely book called Walking a Sacred Path, Rediscovering the Labyrinth as a Spiritual Tool by Lauren Artress. And I can send you the link to that if you're interested in sacred geometry and how balanced this is. This is a calendar. In each of the 4 sections, on these outer parts, there are 28 1/3 of those little cusps that help hold us in and have a sense of being inside and contained and safe. The labyrinth has 3 different steps. I'm gonna put that down now. Just like life. I like to call it before, during, and after. Before, why am I here? What questions do I have? During, I'm doing this. I am walking. After, what did I learn? You enter in. There's only one course. I am free to enter in. Entering in is also called purgation, to purge. Purging for me is not a pleasant thing. It's hard for me to let go, to give up things. It's sometimes really painful. Second step, you land in the center. After you've made all of these weaving and bobbing back and forth, remember, you don't have to decide. It's one path. You've decided to walk it. You just keep following the path. Sometimes turning towards center, sometimes turning away. Follow the path. You finally get to the center. Stage 2, the center, the sun. Christians say the sun, S-O-N. The power. This is called illumination. Those aha moments, those moments of clarity. You rest in the center as long as you want. Third step, you leave. You go out the same path you came in. You return. Sometimes this path feels new to me, even though I just took it. Because I had that illumination, because I had that purgation and that letting go, it feels like it's new. This is a time of integration, of union, of taking what I've learned back outside the labyrinth, outside the safe container, because I have strength now. I can share my insight. Releasing, receiving, resolving, healing, self-knowledge, co-creation. Get a little personal about the co-creation and other labyrinths that I've walked that have been amazing to me. In Minnesota, I looked up and saw a labyrinth open house, and this labyrinth was the size of the entire sanctuary of the church. And it was a temporary labyrinth that had been made by the people. People had let go of cloth from their life, a piece of their wedding veil, a baby's smock, a pair of jeans. And then some people that were awesome quilters pieced it all together, took everyone's story, and made it into one path, the shape of a labyrinth. I didn't know any of these people, but I can only imagine how moving it was to them as they walked across pieces that they had let go of. It was very moving for me. So here we are at Stillwaters, and I wish I could take you out to our 2 labyrinths, but I can show you a picture of them if I brought it. 1 second. Enjoy the view. Don't blow away. Oh my goodness. So Neil, could you let me screen share? I know I have them on my computer. And then you'll have to take it back again. We will try this. If it doesn't work, folks, I apologize. I'm gonna let my brother maybe come look for the pictures I'm missing.
You can try to share it now because you're still co-host as far as I know.
Okay, thank you. Desktop. It looks like the 2 pictures side by side. It's a horizontal image. You'll see it. It's very obvious. It's not within something else. It's the whole piece of paper. It might be in the backpack.
And while you're looking, Mary, I love the background. I just want to get out in nature, and I can hear either the crickets or the birds in the background, so it's perfect. And the sky, I've been watching the sky while you've been speaking, and the
Nice.
trees. So thank you for doing this live.
Live. I'm seeing Labyrinth Songs, Labyrinth Talk, Clink Clunk Show. It's on my Google Drive. I printed it. I don't know where it is.
Divine order.
Divine order. People get to, let me try to find it first before I share. Okay, could you have me stop sharing? There it is. I can see it now. Okay, now you guys can just look. Maybe this will be the meditation time.
Breathe, everybody. This is our meditation time.
Yeah, thanks, Neil.
That's what these guys said anyway. Except this one here.
Google Chrome, Google Photos. There they are. There it is. Awesome. And now I just need to figure out how to screen
Is it in
share.
the print book?
This is not technical difficulties. This is technical opportunity
Oh,
time.
I love that. Here's the two labyrinths at Stillwaters. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Awesome. So we have two. We have a masculine and a feminine. And hopefully you can see that they're mirror images of each other. The only difference is that you go opposite directions.
Kind of like marriage. Yeah.
Okay, you can mute yourself now, Neil. Thank you. Kind of like marriage. Yes, it's not always easy. It sometimes feels like we're opposites. Definitely. Jeff and I have been married for 9 years. We got married in the masculine labyrinth. People had painted rocks with their wishes for us. The feminine labyrinth is down in the ground. And when you sit on the ground in the feminine labyrinth, you can whisper and hear each other. It's very intimate. Masculine labyrinth is out in the open. There's stumps around it. We got the tree stumps from Unity of Fairfax. There was a scarlet oak there that needed to be cut down because it was too close and it was dying. So Jeff brought the stumps here and set them up in a circle, just randomly, synchronistically. It happened to be the exact same circumference as the feminine labyrinth that he had built as a drum circle. He didn't measure it, but that's the way Jeff is. We got married as we walked into the center of the masculine labyrinth that we call Stumphenge. Seeing the wishes painted on the rocks along the path from all of our friends. We said our vows in the center. We shared a silent time of meditation as all of our friends gathered around us. We let them go to the reception, which was at this end where I am now under a white tent, and we stayed in the center. A little longer, a little more meditation, a little more receiving, a little more illumination, before we returned and joined the others on the same path they had taken to celebrate, to eat, to share more stories. Walking a sacred path, walking meditation, before, during, and after. Prayer is not an exercise, it is life. The prayer of the labyrinth, for me, is a lovely, beautiful, enjoyable, perfect symbol and way to be. I'm going to try to stop sharing. Neil, if you could stop sharing my screen, that'd be great, and I'll sing a song. And then you can ask, bless people's offerings, and then give it back to me, and I'll sing another song. Thank you. Are you able to stop my screen sharing, or do I have to do that? Neil, can you unmute yourself and talk to me, please?
Okay, so now I'm allowed to share, huh?
Yes, as a matter of fact, why don't you bless our offerings, and then I'll sing a song, and then we'll have the final blessing, and
Okay,
let everyone share as we walk out of the labyrinth.
okay, we're still recording, so our blessings for love offerings and tithes. Divine love flowing through us blesses and multiplies all that we are, all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. Amen.
Walking, walking, walking in the light. Walking, walking, walking in the light. Walking in the light. Ooh, we can trust each other. Ooh, walking in the light. We can be ourselves. Walking, walking, walking in the light. Walking, walking, walking in the light. Walking in the light. Ooh, we can trust each other. Ooh, walking in the light. We can be ourselves. Come on, Rosie. Walking, walk. Come here, Rosie. Walking in the light. Walking, walking, 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 walking in the light. Walking. I hope you could see that.
Yeah, we saw you walking and then somebody else was running, a little
Yep.
tiny four-legged creature.
There you go. There you go. So that was an interesting way for us to have our meditation kind of in the middle. I hope that worked for people. Did anyone, I'd like to take just a few comments right now, maybe 3. Any wonderful things you'd like to share? Any illuminations or things you let go of? Things that you'd like to integrate?
I'd like to integrate your backdrop, and
Thanks, Neil.
I'd like to walk your labyrinth too sometime. But the feminine one is the only one that's open. Does my voice change when I come back out of it?
No, you're fine. I can still hear you.
No, I meant walking the labyrinth. Will I change?
Oh, ha, ha, ha. I have not had anyone experience that, but come on out and try. That was one. Do we have 2 other people that would like to share a reflection?
Thank you.
This made me remember a bunch of years ago when I was a in charge of a labyrinth at the Celtic Festival.
The children's labyrinth.
Yeah, the children's labyrinth.
Wow. Wow.
It was done with hay bale.
Yep. Nice. Did you get a chance to walk it? Did you like it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks, Zach. Anyone else care to share?
Well, I have a quick question. I don't know that you would know the answer to it offhand, but the labyrinth at charts had 13 figured prominently. Do you think that was because it was Jesus and the 12 disciples incorporated in the labyrinth?
Yep. Yes.
Oh,
Yes, Leon, that's what some people say. We don't know for sure, but yeah, it's a beautiful story. The book is called Walking a Sacred Path. And if you're
and
interested, it's a really good one.
okay, and thank you for the talk. And now I can remember that being female is a labyrinth and being masculine is amazing.
Okay. Okay. There you go. Whatever. Yep. I'm glad that you said feminine and masculine versus female and male, right? Has nothing to do with the shape of our skin, just the inside. Awesome. Thank you guys for sharing. I'm going to do the closing blessing, which I usually do as a song, Sacred in All. Then we'll sing Let There Be Peace on Earth together. And then, Neil, if you could lead us in our closing statement, and then everyone gets to party. So listen up. This is your blessing for the day. God go before you, leave peace behind you. Send angels to guide you on your left and your right. Great Father above you, gentle Mother below you, will teach you and show you the sacred in all. 'Cause if you see with God's eyes, hear with his ears, when you touch with God's hands, she will calm all your fears. Open your mind, help your heart understand the sacred in all. So love go before you, leave peace behind you. Send the angels to guide you on your left and your right. Great Father above you, gentle Mother below you, will teach you and show you the sacred in all. Will teach you and show you the sacred in all.
Join hands.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now.
And
With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
thank you so much, Mary. Thank you, Still Waters. Thank you, Earth Mother, masculine and feminine. And let's close our recording today with our prayer of protection. And then I'll stop the recording and we can share anything that's on our minds. Prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Amen.
All is well.
Thank you very much, Mary. Beautiful service.
Thank you, guys.
Just wanted to add that I remember when they did the Native American vigils on the mall in DC. They used to be every year, and there used to be a firekeeper, and they got a permit to run a fire for the entire length of the gathering, and they had representation from all the nations on the mall, and they put up teepees, and they had a labyrinth. And I remember one year at the end of the ceremony, when the fire was put out, we were invited to take the stones from that labyrinth. And I don't remember what year it is, but I have one of the stones in the house. So thank you for reminding us about the power and the presence of the labyrinth. And I kind of now really want to come out there and walk that feminine labyrinth.
You guys are always, always welcome. Seriously, it's outside. It's always open. We don't put a gate across it or anything. I
Yeah.
just ask that you let me know. I mean, I've walked it in the light of the full moon before, and you are all always welcome at Stillwaters.
Well, thank you very much. And thanks for the backdrop. And thank you for that recorded bird messages that fluttering that we saw from time to time. It was very well done. Good recording.
That was Jeff, my brother, directing the birds. You couldn't see him, he was off camera, but he did a really good job directing those birds.
Okay. Everybody on mute. I'm going to stop the recording now and time for sharing.
I would like to know where to send a donation, if you could put that in the chat. Hello?
Okay. Jane, when you want to come in on that?
Oh, donation. Oh.
Yes.
Well, I
You
was
don't
thinking
want
you
that?
wanted to send a donation to Stillwaters, but if you want to send a donation,
Oh, well, I know Stillwaters. I just thought it was maybe something else that,
It should go to Unity Center of Peace, and Jane is in charge of that. Do you want to put it in the chat, Jane, or just tell her whatever's easiest for you guys?
it's in our newsletter, the address, but I can put it in the chat.
please.
Thank you. And before I go, I just wanted to share, Neil, thank you again. Neil does not get enough gratitude, I don't think, for all of the ways that you do this. Yes.
No, these guys are always reminding me how great I am.
Oh, good. Good. I wanted to thank you specifically for sharing that story of the Native Americans. I didn't have time to go into all of the different mazes, but Native American labyrinths exist. The man in the maze is woven into baskets, as well as being painted on teepees. Yeah, so these labyrinth things, they are all over the planet. So thank you guys again for coming. I appreciate it very much. I'll leave my screen on.
Thanks so much for
Thank you,
sharing.
Mary.
God bless.